Hello everyone, welcome back to Allcarnews, and today we're here with a little bit of a bittersweet special. This is the 2024 Jaguar F-Pace SVR with a thundering supercharged V8 under the hood, over 500 horsepower. But the sad part is it's going out of production, as is all of Jaguar's internal combustion engine lineup, as they aim for a new electrified future. And will that work out for them? We will definitely go find out and see coming soon, as their first products are set to be unveiled either later this year or early 2025. But this F-Pace SVR is going to be an icon of Jaguar's past, and also an icon of this Supercharged V8, which is one of the last applications we have of it now in the market. So I'm very excited to get to drive this SVR F-Pace for the week, and got to explore all of the cool dynamics about it and explore both the sporty side as well as the luxury side that Jaguar is known of. So instead of just kind of reviewing this vehicle, we're going to kind of appreciate all of the engineering and stuff Jaguar has put into it, because it's going out of production very soon. So if you do want one, try to grab one up really quick. And this particular one is around $96,000 as configured. And honestly, I think it's a pretty good price for all the amazing features and looks that you're getting on this vehicle. Let's go dive in. Now, the heart of the Jaguar SVR is definitely under the hood with the iconic AJ 5-liter supercharged V8, and this is pretty much one of the last applications of this engine really we have on the market right now, as the entire JLR group is moving over to the BMW source 4.4-liter twin turbo charged V8 in most of the latest products. But since Jaguar is additionally discontinuing all of their ICE engines, this is even more special of a package. Under the hood here, again, supercharged 5.0-liter V8, 550 horsepower and around 516 pound-feet of torque, going to all four wheels through a pretty good all-wheel drive system that sends most of its power to the rear wheels most of the time for some pretty fun performance driving in through the corners, and to kind of better distribute power for this rear-wheel drive-based architecture, which is very closely related to the Range Rover Velar. Otherwise, this is paired to an 8-speed automatic gearbox. No kind of fancy transfer cases or anything we're going to find on, like we do on the Range Rover side, but this is still a pretty cool system. We have torque vectoring by braking on all four corners, as well to better distribute power, as well as the Jaguar Drive controller. It's going to give you a few different drive modes to kind of distribute power differently, as well as give you a little bit more throttle response when you want to have a little bit more fun. Let's go dive right on the exterior tour now of this awesome looking F-Pace SVR. Now, of course, other than this gorgeous ultra blue paint shade we have on this F-Pace SVR, we also are getting that full aerodynamics and more aggressive package in terms of the visual side. So up front here, we have a blacked out grille, the unique SVR badge, as well as a darker Jaguar badge here. But definitely down here you can see is where all of the cooling is being done. Very wide open radiators here to allow all the air to flow through. And Jaguar's actually done some pretty clever stuff with some passive aerodynamics on this vehicle. We have huge heat extractors on the top of the hood here to let all of the heat out of that engine. And we also have some nice passive air going across the wheels, and even a sort of a little Venturi effect diffuser on the side skirts over there. So really cool stuff. And of course, that air is being able to be extracted out of the wheel wells as well to help cool brakes just a little bit better. So really nice stuff they're doing on this package here. I wish the F-Pace would still continue to be in production, because it still looks so gorgeous, even though it really has been in this one generation with a mild facelift. That facelift did bring a little bit of some updated headlights, which we do see here. So Jaguar LED headlights. And I love the little Easter egg on the side here of the Jaguar in the side repeater. Coming over to the side of the F-Pace, we have these really nice optional wheels that are 22 inches, and they're the split spoke design. They do get a little bit dirty as it has a sort of a matte finish on them, but they are all metal. I think overall they look really good and help to fill out the wheel arches of the F-Pace SVR pretty well. You can also see back here we are hiding red Jaguar brake calipers with some upgraded high performance brakes here to help increase your stopping power, especially when you're going so fast with this 5-liter V8 under the hood here. And also coming over to the side, you can see a little bit of what I'm more talking about with this aerodynamics, that heat extraction over here, as well as the little bit of that aerodynamics effects going on your side skirt. Coming out to the rear of the F-Pace, we have, again, a little bit more of an aggressive package. Down here, you can notice these absolutely massive quad exhaust tips, very bright silver finish, very reminiscent of what you would find on the old F-Type SVR, and that sound is definitely there as well. You also are getting a little bit more of a unique bumper finish here. I love the gloss paintings around here. It definitely looks better than some other manufacturers that do some more plasticky look finishes. This taillights over here came with the facelifted of the F-Pace, and they have a nice little 3D effect pattern on there. Really nice, sleek design. And just check out this lower diffuser area over here. We also are getting a little bit more of that aerodynamic effect that we saw on the side skirts. So they really did think about all this when designing the F-Pace SVR, as well as this little bit of a lip spoiler on top of the larger rear trunk spoiler, which is a nice touch. Also at the rear of the F-Pace SVR is a pretty nice practical rear trunk area. So opening up the power trunk, very a spacious interior here, and it is really spacious, especially if you're comparing it to some other main competitors such as the Stelvio Quadrifoglio or a Macan GTS. This is offering way more cargo space, around 34 cubic feet, which is pretty nice. You actually are also getting a full-size spare tire under here very orange, of course. It's gonna be a little embarrassing if you have to use it, but it's nice to have instead of having just either run flats or a fix-a-flat kit. You also are getting a nice cargo divider up here, as well as easy controls to fold your second row seats down over here. And honestly, the nice aluminum scuff plates, as well as the full power function, are really nice touches for this very fast and also very practical SUV. Okay guys, let's go hop in the rear seats real quick to check out the interior of this Jaguar F-Pace SVR. Opening the doors, we do notice that we have keyless access on all 4 door handles, which is a lovely touch. And check out this incredible interior here with this nice oyster color leather. Hopping inside, super easy. And we actually have a pretty decent amount of space in here, even behind my seating position, which is for a 6 foot tall person. Now, back seats to here, these are these really gorgeous seats, leather wrapped all across, real metal accents. And we still have some nice storage cubbies on the back of these seats. And I love how Jaguar really trying to detail their interior on their facelifted models. We have these little Jaguar touches on all of the controls, nice heated rear seats as well, and lots of charging ports back here for all of your devices, which is a wonderful touch. Custom all-weather formats as well in this one. And the seats themselves, I have to say, even the rear seats are super, super comfortable. Lots of nice grip from this kind of micro suede material that is perforated back here. And I really like this Jaguar badge embossed in here, as well as the SVR logo embossed back here. It's a really special feeling interior, and it does feel nice for all 4 passengers, including this 5th passenger back here, though they will have a little bit of less legroom due to this large hump in the center console area over here for the rear driveline. Popping down this little armrest here, we do have 2 cup holders, which is a nice touch. And the door panels themselves are quite nice, fully leather wrapped all the way down to the bottom. This is all nice soft touch material and or leather. Nice some accent lighting over here, and at night we do have some really nice ambient lighting in this interior. Nice aluminum trim, gorgeous Meridian audio system speakers in here. It's such a shame that we're gonna have to see this thing go out of production, because this is one of the best vehicles I think that the JLR group has produced this current decade. So let's go hop up front now and check out how gorgeous these front seats are as well. Okay, let's go hop up front now on the Jaguar F-Pace SVR. Opening up our doors again, same awesome treatments we're getting on these door panels here. Really nice buttons as well, and they kind of stand out a little bit even from its Range Rover and Land Rover siblings as well. Nice micro suede material over here, though a little bit of a controversial placement over here. This could get matted really easily and could absorb a lot of like sweat or water and stuff, so you might want to try to keep this side clean, but otherwise it's a really gorgeous look for these door panels over here. And check out these seats as well, just as nice as the rear seats in the back. So really nice aggressive design. We have a lot of bolstering on the sides over here, as well as a whole bunch of support on the sides of the seats. Really love this blend of materials. And let's hop inside. Solid thump from the door panels over here, and let's start up this F-Pace SVR with our stop button here. Now, when you put your foot on the brake, it actually does pulsate red, which is a little bit hard to see during the daytime, but just the beating heart of a Jaguar. And it comes to life with a nice thunderous roar from that V8 here. Now, before we even start getting into this vehicle, we have a really cool climate control system panel over here, which thankfully is separate from this infotainment screen, which is something that the new Range Rovers and even some of the new Land Rover products are missing out on, which is a little bit of an unfortunate touch, because when everything is crammed in this interior screen over here, it just gets a little bit messy. So thankfully, we still have these nice buttons over here, and you can push them to access your cooled seats as well as your heated seats. And when you pull them, you can control your fan speed and controls over there. And we have these nice touch buttons over here that will bring you to a larger menu to kind of open up a few different more settings for you over there. So nice touch there, nice integration, and I've had no issues with it at all. So it's nice to see how easy buttons work for you. Over here we have this really gorgeous steering wheel, and it has a nice aggressive design here. So we have this really cool kind of multi-tone pattern with this white airbag cover with the SVR badge down here, as well as a white and red stitching pattern on here. Nice grips for all different points of the steering wheel as well. And this design over here is just so much more dynamic than something we would find on a Range Rover or a Land Rover product. We still have very similar controls though on the steering wheels, just in a different sort of layout. For our full digital cluster over here, we can cycle through a whole bunch of different menus as well, which if you want to change that up on the fly, you can configure this little custom button to do so pretty easily. You can see all the fun different menus you can go into there. We also get full metal paddle shifters here. Nice solid touch as well. Just check out how big they are. Very nice feel to them as well. So, and that controls that 8-speed automatic gearbox we have here. And on our right hand side here, we have our full adaptive cruise control systems, lane keep assist, heated steering wheel buttons, and I love how they illuminate when you press the buttons as well. Really nice touches there, Jaguar. And again, hopefully they'll continue this steering wheel design into their new electrified phase. Up front here, you can also notice we have a full micro suede headliner and part of the dash over here. This is actually really good to have on the driver's side of the dash, because it does reduce glare, which you can kind of see is happening a little bit in that part of the dash over there, especially on a sunny day with the leather stitching over there. So it's a nice touch here to keep the driver's eyes focused on the road, and that's also going to be helped with this heads-up display over here. Though I will say at night, this heated windshield option with all these little strips in it can be a little bit annoying with some lights glaring in it. It's hard to kind of explain through camera, but if you do own a JLR product, you definitely know what I'm going to be talking about there. Over here, nice memory seat controls blended into the Meridian speaker, and you can just see how nice the materials are in here. Leather is pretty much everywhere, soft touch materials, really no hard touch plastics in here, so I really am giving them nice kudos there for building a solid interior. The center console is also pretty well laid out. I do like, again, there are physical buttons in here other than what you're going to find in some of the Land Rover and Range Rover products, which are very minimalist and the reductive design language here. So this cover unveils nice 2 big cup holders, a little bit of a storage cubby over there, and we have this really gorgeous kind of control center over here. Of course, we have our start stop button, a nice physical climate volume knob over here instead of having it built into the touchscreen. We have a very subtle SVR badge on this shifter over here, as well as an awesome drive mode selector that pops out, and it has this really nice knurled finish to it. So really cool touch there. They've even included a separate exhaust button, hill descent control button, as well as our traction control buttons, all right in this little center here. So very easy to control your drive modes. And since this is an SVR, we have even more drive modes when you go into your dynamic mode area. So this can control all these different parameters of the vehicle to kind of tune it to your liking. And you also get some fun performance features in here, like a stopwatch, lap times, G meter, and all that fun stuff, because this thing can really pull some serious numbers. So it's kind of fun to see it outlaid here. Another fun thing I really like about this interior is this under cubby storage over here, something you also don't find in its sibling at Land Rover, the Range Rover Velar. So again, really nice amounts of storage in here, and that is also expanded with this large glove box area, as well as this center console storage area over here, which is giving you some USB-C and A ports as well. Nice felt lined, and I also like how they felt line the door panels over here in between the door and the vehicle. It also helps improve sound insulation. So all of this material in here, all these windows and everything is really meant to be sound insulation. So this vehicle has both the luxury aspects as well as that high performance aspect of being an SVR product with that V8 under the hood. Now, like I said, we have heated and cooled seats, no massage or anything in here. That would be something like that would be nice to see. Though these seats, how thin they are and how bucket of a design they are, I can't really see them putting all those massaging bladders in there. But, you know, hopefully we'll see that in their electrified products. But sad it didn't make it into this particular F-Pace SVR. We're very familiar with this infotainment system. It's pretty much the identical system we find in the Range Rover and Land Rover products. It's that gorgeous PiviPro screen, curved panel. It's kind of blended into the dash here. I really like the application of it in this particular Jaguar F-Pace. Not much to really go around here. You have wireless CarPlay, fantastic 360-degree view camera system, as we expect from the JLR group, and really no complaints with this system over here. Now, I will say, getting through some of the menus can be a little bit clumsy in some situations. So if you want to go to settings here, there's a whole bunch of different settings menus that just open up. It's the same thing that happens on our Land Rover and Range Rover products, though my biggest like here is that they have separated stuff out of the screen instead of cramming everything in there. So that's one of the biggest points here. Otherwise, we do actually have full ambient lighting on this interior, and it looks absolutely epic at night. We can have it tied to the drive modes. We can choose through all of these different options as well. You can even animate them as well. So really cool stuff there. And it has a nice accented dash design throughout the entire interior. Otherwise, guys, this was a nice quick tour of the interior of this F-Pace SVR, and let's go take this thing on a drive because it sounds and drives amazing. This thing is packing a 8-speed automatic gearbox, a ZF, pretty quick shifting, and I think they've done a good job with the shift logic on this particular one. You also have an S-Drive mode where it's going to enhance those shifts even more, especially in this dynamic setting. And of course, that is connected to the insane 5-liter supercharged V8 with over 550 horsepower and 516 pound-feet of torque. It is an absolute monster of a engine, and it sounds insane and it delivers power like a freight train. Check out for pedestrians here. And how is this Jaguar out to drive? So we're in the dynamic setting, the most aggressive setting now, and around these twisty roads, it handles in an interesting manner. The steering is a bit lighter than I was expecting when getting into this vehicle, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, though. In a very high performance dynamic SUV, you may want a little bit more sharper steering. Something like a Stelvio Quadrifoglio or even a Macan GTS will definitely offer you a more sharper steering response, though this does it in a very graceful yet direct way that I haven't really experienced in too many vehicles. It's almost like a big muscle SUV in that sense, and it's very direct but has a very nice lightness to it. very reminds me much of the IS500 actually from Lexus. Now, throttle response in dynamic mode is quite good, very touchy, and as a supercharged engine, you know, you do kind of have to rev it out to really get all of that power out of it, but the AJ V8s are just iconic for those incredible thunderous, raucous sound when they're really opened up, as we all know from the F-Type SVR, or the F-Type R. And it's actually quite fun to roll through these gears with these metal paddle shifters we have on here. Pretty quick responsive shifts, nothing slow at all, no lags, and I do like that quite a lot. And these metal shifters are just a joy to even feel and use around this wonderfully gripped steering wheel. Now in dynamic mode, the suspension is also going to firm up those dampers a little bit to give you a little bit more body control. And the interesting car that you're really going to want to compare this to actually is its sister vehicle, the Velar from Range Rover. Very similar in terms of platform, but the Velar is basically removes all the sporty nature that you're getting in this F-Pace and adds in just pure luxury. This has a blend of both, and in this SVR model you get really strong brakes, really good traction management, and of course that insane V8 under the hood. And it is shockingly fun to drive around these twisties. Again, even with that light steering, it's a really fun car to drive around. Now, again, we gotta appreciate everything that Jaguar has done here in this vehicle, because it is going away. And it does stand a really strong competition to the existing kind of super fast SUVs in this segment right now. It's definitely a unique one, especially with a V8. And even if you pop it over into one of the more comfort settings here, it still offers a really nice driving experience. And let's say you don't want to have everything in that most dynamic, aggressive setting. You can drive it in comfort or even eco and still open the exhaust note to really let everyone in the entire area, probably a mile vicinity of you, hear you coming. Now the F-Pace SVR does have a torque vectoring style system here, though it is not a sort of differential style torque vectoring with this all-wheel drive system. It is using the brakes, so it still definitely is going to work around corners to kind of ease you into the corners and kind of pull you out a little bit more, though it would be nicer to have a more direct system, but since this car is being discontinued, we really can't really ask for much more from it. And when you really want to be comfort driving around, you can pop it right into eco mode with this Jaguar drive controller here. And shockingly, it's very comfortable and very soft. Everything kind of tones down a lot. The steering gets even lighter. The throttle response tones down so much to the point where you can just tap on the throttle and just keep your speed consistent. The exhaust quiets down, and it becomes a pretty nice daily cruiser around. It's super, super, super quiet in here. I can't even emphasize that more enough. And that's some of the traits where it draws out of like the Velar and that Range Rover luxury there. It has all of that nice sound insulation for you, really nice high commanding driving position, and it just kind of floats and cruises along in the more comfort oriented settings here, which is a really nice kind of duality to this vehicle. And shockingly, even with all this power and a big supercharged V8, you can kind of get pretty decent fuel economy out of it, even in the mid to almost high 20-ish range, which is pretty impressive. Though if you are on it all the time, you're going to be seeing the 13, 14, 15-ish area MPG figure all the time, as once you're really on that supercharger, it's going to eat up fuel like it's starving. Now definitely with these 22-inch wheels, you're going to hear a little bit more of some road undulations and noise vibrate throughout the cabin more than a smaller wheel, but you have to remember this is a sport performance SUV, and if you're going to be nitpicking on some compromises, you may be wanting to look for a more luxury vehicle like that said Range Rover Velar. Now it does also have a launch control, which is a nice feature. It's dynamic launch control, and let's test that out right now. And there is 60 really quick, and we just pulled again another 1.12 G's in that launch, so it's surely very, very quick. Never have to worry about any sort of passing situations. And shockingly, they say you can take this out on the track and have some fun with it, but I'm not too sure how many people are doing that. This is a nice cruising luxury vehicle that has all that performance aspects to it that you can just activate in a click of a switch. And for this price point, around $96,000, as this particular one is coming in as tested here, you are quite getting pretty much every feature you could possibly ask for. An incredibly trimmed interior, really gorgeous looks, big V8, all of the safety tech features that you could ever want in a vehicle are present here. And I think it's not the worst amount of money to pay for a vehicle that's this good and that is being sent off. And when you do look at some of the competitors, none of them have a V8s, and none of them are going to offer you that sound or that kind of special feel that this Jaguar F-Pace SVR. And there's also the aspect to it that not many people have this vehicle, so if you do want something that's a little bit more unique and can be cherished maybe for a little bit longer of a time than some more run-of-the-mill competition, this Jaguar may just be for you. Anyways guys, I hope you enjoyed this drive of this 2024 F-Pace SVR, and definitely make sure to check out the full review if you have not done so. And as always, thanks for watching. Cheers.